I just want to give a big, shout out to your family for stepping up and being that village, because it's super important, especially if one of the parents are out there doing what they have to do to try to make a better life for their children.
Absolutely. And she definitely did make a better life for us. Everything was a result. Every success that I have had is a result of her sacrifice. There is no doubt about it. There is 100% correlation. And my grandma knew that. And I think that that showed up in the way that she held us accountable when we were in Guyana living with her, because it was like, I know what your mom's out there doing. You can't be doing nonsense. You better be getting straight A's. You better not be acting up on the playground. You better not be doing this thing, because I know what the sacrifice that's happening behind the scenes looks like. And I think that that definitely translates in the way that she disciplined and parented us.
A screaming baby.
I would love for you to quickly touch on the. Is there echo when you hear that? Okay.
Nah.
Okay. Just touch on that relationship you had with your sister, because you said like you both were going back and forth. So like, did that make you guys feel closer together? Like, what was y'all's dynamic?
Very close. My sister and I used to share a bunk bed, and half the time I'll be down. I'm the clingy one in the relationship. She's watching, so I'm sure she will corroborate. Most of the time, I would be down on her bed or she'd be up on mine, and we were very close. I would do her hair. I kind of stepped in as, we're only 2 years apart, 18 months to be exact. And so it's not a huge age difference, but I definitely played the big sister role. And, I would do her hair. We would, just do everything together, literally. Like, we would be in all the different clubs together. We would do all the performances together. We were very big performance kids. We were the ones that, you could wave $1 over us and we'll start dancing right there and do a little custom song and dance in the background. So yeah, my sister and I are very close. Still are close. We talk almost every day. We have a group chat with a couple other our friends as well, that we just have now merged like our adult lives and our younger lives. And obviously life is different now. My sister's in the military. And, she is a really high achieving military professional. She went to West Point. She played rugby there. She was even, almost qualified for the Olympics. Like, she's super talented. And she's also the complete opposite of me. She's very type A. I'm very type B. She's very structured. I'm very lax, So, and it's funny because you can get the exact same upbringing and just end up in two different places in life. But definitely it started out with understanding each other, and that fundamental context came from the fact that we grew up so close.
I like it. West Point, she's an Army officer?
Yes. Yeah. She's actually she just took command of her. She just took command. She said, oh, wait, hold on. She said she's in the comments. That's why I was trying to pull up the side by side screen. She is too funny. Let me pull up my
Hi,
side by
sister.
side. Yeah. She said she's in the comments, but yes. So she is. She just took command of her installation.
Tell her if she wants to comment on the show and she wants the comments to be seen, go to the YouTube. Comment on YouTube. The YouTube comments will come directly to the studio, and we can put her comments directly up on the screen, and you can interact with her like that. So if you can hear her, sister, go to the YouTube. If you want to make a comment, put the comment there. The comments will come straight to the studio, and we'll put them right up on the screen. And thank you for your service. Yes. And the reason that I know that so quickly is because I'm a military person myself. I'm a Marine. Yeah, I'm a Marine. I did 5 years. My son is actually in the Army. He's in the ROTC program right now, and he's actually enlisted, but he's gonna transition over to officer. And my brother, that we was in the Marines together, I got him to go back to school when we got out, and he actually just retired I think it was a major in the Army. So a lot of military.
That's awesome. Yes. Yeah. So she's not I don't think that she's the first military person in our family, but I think maybe number 2 and the first to kind of do the route that she's going. So yeah, it's been amazing to watch her journey as well.
Wow.
I like it.
So now I want to know the big trip to New York.
Over the pond.
Yes. When did it happen? What was the decision-making process where like your mom was like, all right, y'all are coming to Brooklyn and this is now home base?
So I think this is probably when my mom graduated from school. So I think it was time. I remember we were around 10 years old. I celebrated my 10th birthday that summer there. And one of the biggest things was we came up a couple months early, and this is again my mom's intentionality and the way that she parented us was just 10 out of 10. And she brought us up a couple months early to do tests for different schools because she knew that we were bright. We had, both gotten super high achievements in Guyana at our schools there, knowing that that schooling system is a lot more rigorous than the U.S. schooling system. She knew that we would have done well in gifted programs. And so we came up a couple months early. We did tests for a bunch of different, top tier or, not private, but kind of like the public schools that have private level education schools. And she also leveraged her network as well to be able to get us into different interviews for different schools, things like that, different programs. So we came up, did about a month of just that, a marathon of just interviewing at schools, taking tests. And I remember the first test that I took was at the school called Scholars Academy in Rockaway Beach, where we lived. Mm-hmm. And they had a section called ELA. And I did great on the math section, and math is not even my strong suit. So that's like, I did good on the math section. And then they took us into a different room to do our ELA test. And I broke down because I didn't know what ELA stood for. We don't have ELA in Guyana. It's just English. But in America, it's English Language Arts, ELA. And so I think just the term itself just really threw me for a farce because I didn't know as a 10-year-old what I was looking at. And I remember being so frustrated, so confused, and I just broke down. And it's safe to say I didn't do that well on that one. Actually, I don't know. I asked my mom if we actually ended up getting into that school, but that was the first one. A couple months went by. We went back to Guyana, and then we got the call that we got into IS 392, which is a school for the gifted and talented in Brownsville, Brooklyn. That just so happened that my mom's stepmom, worked at the time as well. So she, gave my mom all the information to get us into that school. We did the test, we did well. And that was a school that was the Waverly School of Arts. So it had both, the academics, the gifted academics program, and the performing arts, which, like I said, my sister and I were into dance, music, film, all these things at a young age. And so it just worked out perfectly where, if we had went to Scholars Academy, the school where I broke down at, we would have been 5 minutes from my house in Far Rockaway. I probably would have never gotten out of Far Rockaway, because that's all I would have known. Mm-hmm. Ended up going to a school that was over an hour away in Brooklyn, in the hood in Brooklyn, met all different kinds of people. My first day of school, I met my best friend, who I'm still best friends with to this day. And she was crying on the first day. And I was like, my name starts with a J too. And we just became friends. That was so awkward. And, it was just from there, it was a difficult transition experience because, like I said, being a first generation immigrant in Brownsville, Brooklyn, wearing the not so cute shoes, having the longest uniform skirt because you didn't get the memo that it could be cute and cut. Didn't have the latest Jordans, didn't have the latest clothes. The hair was in dookie braids or whatever the case may be, because you're not going to school to look cute, you're going to school to learn. It was a transition for sure. But, I got the education I needed and we're here.
I mean, listen, again, a testament to your mom right off the back, right? Absolutely. She could have put you in what we call zone schooling.
Yeah.
Zone schooling. Very simple. The school that's closest to your house, or they have space for you, and you could have easily just did that. But she said no, right off the back. What you looked at it as, you might have broken down because you didn't, understood what that means, but you still were taking a specialized test to show that you are above what the average is already. See, so already she's setting you guys up for success.
Absolutely.
Right. She's setting you up for success, right? Because there's a lot of these specialized high schools around the city, right? Not only in Brooklyn, the Bronx and Queens and things of that nature that require these specialized tests, because they do that because they don't want problem children. Right. That's really what it is, right? They don't want problem children, right? They want children that are academically inept and that are doing what they got to do to better themselves, and they have these qualities that are going to benefit the school. Because remember, schools get money from their graduation rate, from their participation rate, from attendance, and all of these things, right? So again, that goes to show you where your mother's vision was for your success at a very young age. We're saying, listen, whether she failed or not, my daughters are going to take these specialized tests, and I'm going to give them the best opportunity to make something of themselves at a young age, whether they understand it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
You know, what she instilled in us is, like I said, these are the lessons that made all the difference. That
So
made all the difference.